Hey, good morning. It's Patricia Murphy. It's Thursday. This is Seattle Now. Baseball is back, and the Mariners are hoping to build on a dramatic end to last year's season when they almost eked out a playoff appearance.
Here's the pitch on the way, and a swing and a miss by Haniger for strike three. The curtain comes down on one of the most remarkable seasons I have ever seen here in Seattle.
The M's home opener is tomorrow. I'll chat about this year's team with the Athletic's Corey Brock in a minute. But first, let's get you caught up. E-cigarette company Juul will pay more than $22 million to settle a lawsuit accusing it of targeting young people. The 2020 lawsuit from Attorney General Bob Ferguson said Juul used advertising to draw in teens with friendly flavors and deceived them about how addictive its vape products are. The state will also require Juul to start a secret shopper program in Washington to test if its products are being sold to minors. The state won't mandate COVID vaccines for students in K through 12 schools next year. The option was on the table, but an advisory board recommended against it in February, in part because most kids aren't at risk of bad COVID outcomes. The Board of Health voted yesterday to make it official. They said that could change if new science emerges or if kids react more strongly to future variants. And an iconic guitar played by Kurt Cobain is going up for auction next month. The left-handed 1969 Blue Fender Mustang has been at Mopop for the past decade. It was featured in the band's video for Smells Like Teen Spirit. Julian's Auctions says it expects the guitar to fetch up to $800,000, a portion of which will go towards removing stigma and raising awareness about mental health disorders. The 2022 baseball season is in full swing, and the Mariners have already had their share of drama. A promising young player got his first hit.
It's Julio Rodriguez leading off the top of the ninth. There you go, first base hit for Julio. He's digging for two, and he's going to get there. Tying run at second base, Julio Rodriguez. Get that baseball.
Mitch Haniger, another key player, has already logged 2 home runs.
And the 0-1 pitch.
High drive, deep left center field. That ball is out of here. 2-0 Mariners, Mitch Haniger.
But it's not all good news. The M's lost 2 of their first 4 games. After they pulled off 90 wins last year, there's a lot of pressure on this team to deliver. They haven't made it to the playoffs since 2001, the longest playoff drought of any Big Four team. Corey Brock is a staff writer for The Athletic covering the Mariners. He was at the team's first series against the Twins, and he's here now. Hey, Corey.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Appreciate it, really. You were in Minneapolis for the Mariners' first series against the Twins, and the first game was originally scheduled for Thursday, but it was moved back a day because of weather. Were you able to stay warm?
Well, I did. I brought a heavy coat, thankfully. It wasn't too bad, early April games in Minneapolis, beautiful stadium there in downtown, but they don't have a roof. So we've sat through some pretty bad elements there. But I will tell you, in 4 days there, we didn't have a single drop of rain, and more importantly, did not have any snow. So we got the games in, which was important.
Yeah, for sure. All right, well, let's talk about how they've been playing. They won the first 2 games against the Twins. They lost 2 to the Twins and lost to the White Sox Tuesday. How are they doing?
Yeah, they're doing fine. I mean, it's far too early in a 6-month season that will cover 162 games to really know a whole lot at this point. And, it's such a small snippet into their season. But we've seen some good things. We've seen some signs that could be some potential struggles down the road. But, by and large, this is a team that's coming off a short spring training because of the lockout. And I still think they are, like a lot of other big league teams, still trying to find their footing.
Yeah. Okay, so the possibilities are endless at this point because it is so early in the season, but there are a lot of expectations on this team. They had 90 wins last season, almost made it to the playoffs. They have made some changes. How does their offense look?
It looks a little bit better, but again, they won 90 games last year with probably one of the least productive offenses in baseball. So that was a big priority this winter. Unfortunately, the lockout really made things difficult for them, and they had to move pretty quickly. They picked up Adam Frazier from the Padres, an infielder, right before the lockout. and certainly added Robbie Ray at the top of their rotation. That was a fantastic signing, I think. But, they made a trade with the Reds on February 14th and got an everyday left fielder and Jesse Winker and third baseman and Gino Suarez. So, I think the offense will be better. It has to be better. And they're also not just the newcomers, but they're expecting some growth and some more production from some of the younger players in the lineup as well. So at times it may be a challenge. They don't have to score 12 runs to win a game. Their pitching generally in the rotation and the bullpen is really good, but they have to be more successful offensively than they were last year. Otherwise, come September, we're not talking about the postseason.
Let's talk about Robbie Ray. What does that do to their pitching staff?
Boy, he's fantastic. He won a Cy Young last year in Toronto. They gave him 5 years and $115 million. As my wife likes to say, I'm in the wrong line of work. But he's fantastic. Yeah, exactly. He's fantastic. He had a good spring in Arizona. We saw a lot of him there. And then his first outing against the Twins was really good, really sharp, knows what he's doing, throws hard, has a wicked slider. I think he's going to be fine. I think he's going to be everything the Mariners have wanted for a guy at the top of their rotation. So he's fun to watch. For me, he's one of those guys that when he starts, I want to make sure I'm either there at the ballpark covering the game or I'm watching it on TV.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. You know who else is super interesting? Julio Rodriguez. He's getting a lot of attention for his determination to end that Mariners playoff drought. What's up with him?
Well, he's just a kid. He's 21 years old. I think he turned 21 at the end of December, and he's a guy that's kind of skyrocketed through the minor leagues. He's played well everywhere he's been, and this spring he played his way onto this team. He was one of their most successful offensive players in spring training, and there's a lot of upside here. This guy played for the Dominican Republic's Olympic team last year. They won a bronze medal. He's hit everywhere he's gone. And he's going to go through some growing pains. I think we have to understand that, this is the game's biggest stage here, and the players and the pitchers in particular are really good. So, there's going to be some adjustment time for him, but I think we all see his loud skills and really his loud personality. He is a very upbeat and gregarious young man, and I think that's going to serve him well moving forward.
Fun player for the team to have because he seems to enjoy the media attention.
Yeah, I think everything from him comes from a genuine love for the game. And, I've been doing this long enough to sort of understand what's genuine and what's not. And I just think that he's just having the time of his life. His family was there in Minnesota the other day from the Dominican Republic. And I know that was really special for him to get a hit. I think it was in the game on Saturday, and that helped them to win that game. So it'll be fun to watch, but I think fans sort of need to temper their excitement a little bit, just realizing that he's still very young.
Sure. Definitely comes through, though. His heart definitely comes through.
Yeah, absolutely.
So from what you've seen on this team so far, is this the year you figure they might end that playoff drought? You seem cautious in your predictions.
Well, I'm a journalist, right? I'm not naturally skeptical, but, they have expanded the playoffs this year. Baseball did that. So more teams have the opportunity to get into the playoffs. So I seem to think that winning 90 games again might be unattainable, but maybe they get close to that. Maybe it's 83, 84, 85, and maybe because of the expanded playoffs, they get a chance to get into the big dance at the end of the year, which I think for them, for the fan base, and they get this, this monkey off their back, 2001 last playoff appearance. That's a long time. And I think it would be good for them. It'd be a good natural next step for the franchise. They're in their competitive window now, but fans need to understand these competitive windows have a very finite period, and they need to move now. And, really, this roster may end up looking different, maybe even vastly different by the end of the season. So I don't think by any means they're a finished product, but we'll see where this all takes them.
Corey, you going to the home opener on Friday?
Absolutely. I wouldn't miss it for the world. opening day, and I know this is their home opener. It's not true opening day. We've already had that. But for my money, it's like Christmas. In my line of work, it's like the best day of the year. I could still remember I went to opening day at the Kingdome in 1986 with some of my high school friends. That's how old I am. And they had a walk-off grand slam, and it's still like one of the coolest memories I've ever had. These things stick with you, and I don't know. There'll be a lot of pageantry, a lot of fun there. The Mariners put on a great show. Kevin Martinez, Greg Green, all those guys out there just do a wonderful job. And I'm curious to see what it's going to be like. And I think Ichiro is throwing out the first pitch.
Oh, very fun. We have a piece of that kingdom in our newsroom somewhere. Best advice for fans before I let you go?
Oh, just be patient. Enjoy these games. And, for my money, and I've been to pretty much all of these ballparks now, there's no better place than T-Mobile Park in the summer. While I can't be out there in the bullpen having a beer watching the game, it's still a great place to go. And just enjoy this period here where we get a chance to see some really interesting big league players and maybe some potentially generational players like Julio Rodriguez getting their feet wet in what could be a very long big league career.
Corey Brock, really fun to talk to you. Corey Brock is a staff writer for The Athletic, where he writes about the Mariners. Thanks.
Thank you very much.
Thanks for listening to Seattle Now. Today, we're shouting out Leong in Seattle, Michael in Kirkland, and Amanda in Seattle. Thank you for your donation to support the show. We can't make Seattle Now without our listeners. If you want to contribute and hear your own name in our credits, check out the link in the show notes. Caroline Chamberlain Gomez produced today's episode. Matt Jorgensen does our theme music. I'm Patricia Murphy. See you tomorrow.